The Painting with Magic Show with Brandon Thomas is brought to you by BrandonThomasArtSupply.com.
Hey, it's me, it's Branty here, and welcome to the Painting with Magic Show. Today we're going to do a nice little painting for you. We're going to do a nice little mountain scene with some nice big trees and maybe a little path coming through. Something kind of a classic little wet on wet painting here. The colors that I'm using today are actually the Grumbacher Academy line. These are the student grade line from Grumbacher that makes it affordable for you, and it's a really good paint, and we're going to put it to the test today by doing a nice classic little mountain scene. The canvas is the Frederick. It's a Frederick Red Label, and those are just fantastic canvases because it gives you just a perfect tooth. And I know they're always sealed. They're nice and gessoed real good, so I know that they're perfect. When I put my Amazing White onto it, it's not going to suck up any of my medium, so it's just perfect for our wet on wet technique. So with that, we're going to be using some big old brushes. And Amazing White is on the canvas. Just a thin, very thin little coat of Amazing White will get you going. So with that, let's take our old 2-inch brush and let's go into some Prussian blue. Just a little bit of Prussian blue. Okay. And there's a little bit of paint thinner left in my brush. I just washed it a while ago. But let's go up here. So we're going to start up here. And I like to just gently start putting it on just a little bit just so I can kind of even it out. Make sure I get it evenly distributed. And then I'm just going to use some circle strokes and some X strokes on this. Just a nice little bit of Prussian blue. I'm actually going to load just a little bit more Prussian blue onto my on my brush and just put it a little darker. There we go. Okay, just a nice little bit like that. Maybe a little darker. I think I want to add just a little bit more. I'm taking tiny bits at a time off the brush. And I'm just going to go right back up here again. I'm using little tiny bits. It's easier to mess it up quicker if you just take too much at one time. So always just add a little bit at a time. And get it on. And I'm just using an X stroke. You can use an X stroke or a little circle stroke, whatever is comfortable for you. Okay, I think that'll do us for our sky so far. And we'll just go to the water and just put a little bit down here. Okay, and so at the water here, I'm just going to go down like this. And work it all the way over like so, and let it ease off as it goes over. On this side, ease off on the brush. So we got a nice little water shimmer down here. Something like so. There we go. And we'll go wash our brush. And we're just going to wash our brush in odorless mineral spirits. And rake it off on the side. And just give it a little shake into your thinner bucket. And then we'll just give it a shake off. And just dry it off on an old paper towel. Then come up here and just soften out your sky with a nice clean dry 2-inch brush. Just like so. I'm gonna beat it out again. Wipe it off. And then across the water. Just like so. See how easy that is? If you're going to do it again, just beat the brush out again. Alright, so now I got my brush nice and clean and dry. I want to throw in some clouds up here. So let's take that old same 2-inch brush and let's go down here to titanium white. And let's take one corner of the brush. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and load it up one corner on the brush. Just nice in one corner. Okay, it's nice and loaded. Let's go up here. Okay, now you're going to make a decision on how your clouds are going to be. And I'm just going to tap in some clouds. Some beautiful, chunky little clouds. This is the easiest way to make clouds. See that? You just use one corner and you start playing it around. So let's go over here. Just using one corner of your brush. Because this brush is natural bristles, it'll be so easy to make you some clouds. Okay, let's go up right up this way. And we're going to lay it right off the canvas. Right up the canvas. See? That easy. And let's go back over here on this side. And we'll just start putting it in. Right on across. Just like so. See that? That easy. Okay, so now we have our little cloud in here. We're going to take the opposite side. See, there's two sides to your brush. See that? There's two sides. There's the side we was painting with, and the side we wasn't painting with. So we'll take the side we didn't paint with, and we'll swap off that brush and use that corner. That way you don't have to wash that brush out again. So use one corner to paint with, and then one corner to soften and blend with. Okay. Right up to this one here. There we go. And then after you do little circle strokes, do a little X stroke at the bottom of it. And then make sure you wipe that brush out. And then give it a little fluff. Give it just a little fluff. Wipe that brush out again. And then we'll just hypnotize the thing. Just give it a gentle, gentle, gentle around, and then give another little fluff to it. Just like that. There. See? Nice little clouds now. And so I'm just going to reload that brush up again and paint another cloud. Just going to use that one corner. And so I'm going to put another little cloud in here. So I'm going to say there's another little cloud living right there. See that starts to just to make a nice shape. We get just a nice little shape. And you can do all kinds of stuff with this. You can put a shadow underneath your cloud. But this cloud here is just to show you a nice, simple, but an effective way to make a cloud. Again, like I said, it's going to be a little mountain scene. And there we go. Over here is not so important. So we'll start blending that out. And so to do that, what I like to do too is like to just crunch the brush to it, just tap the brush on it. That helps remove some of the paint. If you load this brush up too much, you won't be able to blend with the same brush you just painted with. So we'll just give it another little fluff. And then kind of hypnotize it just a little bit. A little softening. See that nice, big, fluffy, soft clouds. Just a nice little technique for you to add to whatever you're doing. Okay, I think that's a nice one there. So I'll tell you what, we'll go to the palette here and mix up a color for our mountain. Okay, I'm going to take titanium white just a little bit, some ivory black, some Van Dyke brown, some Prussian blue in there, and then a little bit of the red. And just mix that up real good. But leave all that marbleization in there. And that's going to help you out. Now just get a little roll of that. Oh, no, enough. Let's go back up here. Okay, I'm going to take my knife here now. And I'm going to start making a decision as to how my little mountain's going to be shaped. Just like so. I'm going to scrape off some of that color. I want another little peek right in here with him. Just like that right there. And just get your shapes in. You're not worried about anything else but them shapes. That's all you're worried about. There you go. Now I'm going to show you kind of a different way to make a mountain today. We're using the knife, but we're not going to be smoothing it out with the brush. We're just going to paint this mountain in. Use our knife to kind of fill it with. We're scraping and painting it all up here. Like that. Good. Then I'll just wipe off my knife. Make sure you keep your knife good and clean. Then I'm going to take that 2-inch brush we was using earlier and just kind of pull the base out and tap the base. Okay, this is another method of painting a mountain. And then just do a little bit of an X stroke at the base just to get this nice and soft. Alright, let's go back down to the old palette and load the knife up to get us a highlight up here. Okay, I'm going to take this old blue color we had here, and we'll put it down here. I'm going to take this titanium white and pull it out nice and flat. I'm going to take a tiny dot of red and put that in there. The reason is you never want to use just solid white. That little bit of blue actually would have been just fine, but I wanted to start from scratch. So we got the white. We get a nice little roll of paint right on the knife, right on the edge of that knife. Let's go up here. Now I'm going to decide which way my light's coming from today, and I'm going to say my light's coming from the left today. There's no pressure at all on this knife. Let the paint go. And this is the Academy line from Grumbacher. It's like $5 for like a little small tube of this stuff. So it's an extremely good deal. Maybe 10 for the big tubes. Depends on where you buy it from. A lot of local stores has it. But you see this knife, it just breaks. This paint just wants to go right down that old canvas. Really nice. Okay, let's go down here and we'll make a color up for our shadow. So I got the white. I'm going to take a little bit of Prussian blue. A little Prussian blue. A little bit of Van Dyke brown go in there. And just a tiny bit more of the Prussian blue. Maybe a little bit more Prussian blue. Now I'm going to want to make this marbled. Again, I'm taking little tiny dots of the blue at a time. Figure 8 stroke, maybe a little more white again. Just till I get something that I want. I think that's going to be the color I want. So I'm going to take a little roll of that. Let's go up here. And then decide how it's going to load. I'm actually going to load it from the opposite side of my knife. So I'm going to load it on the back of the knife. And then come in here and start making my shadows. No pressures on that knife. No pressure. Just the weight of the blade. And if you have one of these knives, you know these are very thin blades. Very flexible. So it don't take much at all. Just right on the edge of that, and then just let it break. Right down the mountain. See? See how nice that goes? There we go. I'm going to go back into that white. Just work on this little mountain. Just a little bit. Just a little bit more. Then I'm going to go back to my shadow. Something just like that right there. Maybe I'll add just a little bit of that mountain color to it. I kind of overworked it there. No big deal. Then I go back to the shadow color. And now you see how you bring it back? Let's go over here. And something like that right there. You make a decision up, and then just go with that decision. Then right over here is a little small shadow right here. Make sure we don't forget that one. There we go. So bring that shadow right back out again and kind of fill him up too much there. Okay. Just like that. I think we got it in the mountain. Alright, there we go. And then here at the bottom of our mountain, we're going to take and just kind of crunch in some mist. X stroke at the bottom, and then kind of give it a pull. Nice, just a nice little mountain. Okay, so now we have our little mountain in there. Looks nice and good. I think what we'll do now is start working on our little trees. And we're going to make a big old color up here. And for the most part, this color is going to work for us for most of the trees. So we'll make up one solid color, and then we'll make a lighter version of that for some background trees. But that's going to be mainly our color. So tell you what, let's take our palette, let's take some sap green, and we'll put it down here, and then we'll take some black, some red, and we'll take some blue, and then some Van Dyke brown, and we'll go down here and I'll show you what I got, and mix that up real good. Get a nice dark color, nice dark green. Okay. And all those nice dark colors. I may add a little more black to that. And then, because I need a lighter color, I'm going to take the white and put it next to it. I always put it right next to it. And then give it a nice little mix. Tell you what, we'll mix that whole thing up. I added a little too much white, but that's okay. I think it's going to be a nice color. Maybe more of the sap green, the blue, and the black. See? That's good. That'll do good for us right there. Okay, so I'm going to go grab a 1-inch brush. Kick up a 1-inch brush. And we're going to load this paint up right back and forth with the brush. And we're going to give it a nice little chisel. So wiggle the paint through and pull. Until you get that brush nice and chiseled. Okay? I'm going to add more black and blue. All them colors together with it. Just because I want it just a little bit darker. Okay? And then give it a nice little wiggle. And give it a pull. Okay? And you got a nice chiseled edge. Okay? Around the old brush. Let's go back here. Okay, so right through here, I'm just going to use this brush to make some beautiful trees. Living back here. And this is my favorite way to make these little trees, these little distant pine trees. It looks so much better than with this than the fan brush, I think. So I'm going to use this today. Just like that. So just make sure you keep your brush chiseled. If you have to reload it a couple of times, you have to reload it a couple of times. But this makes the best. And you don't have to worry about it losing the, making the middle not solid, because it does it really quickly. Okay, up and down, up and down. Nice little bit right through here. Just something like this. Okay. There we go. Good. Now we'll just take our old 1-inch brush, or 2-inch brush we used earlier. And before I do that, I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to wipe off my knife first. I'm just going to just zip up the bottom. Like that. See that? Then I'm going to grab it and load one corner of it up into titanium white. And then crunch the bottom. And the reason I zipped it off there a little bit, that way that it doesn't get too gray on me. The white stays relatively clean on it. And then give it a little pull up. Now you're going to see all this dirty stuff at the bottom. Doesn't matter. You can use an X stroke to get rid of that with. There we go. Pop off the old brush and then give it a little pull. Going up, lift it up a little bit. Don't worry about the bottom. Okay. And then we'll put another layer in there. And to do that, we'll make the color darker. So I'm just adding black and blue. And sap green. All them colors we used earlier, we're just going to add them right to it just to make them darker. Same old mixture, just darker. Use an old 1-inch brush. And because it's darker, it'll stand out from the other trees. Okay? It'll stand right from the other trees. Just like that. See those going in? Okay, simple. Just reload that brush when you need to reload it. And just go up and down with it. You can probably hear more birds going. More birds going crazy today. See, just fill it up. Fill it up. There you go. And then I'll give it just, so we'll go down here. And so I'm not going to give it a fluff. I'm just going to give it a pull down now. So I'm just going to actually just mush this into the water. Like so. Give it a pull down. Now let's go across it real quick. Then I'm going to take a number 3 fan brush and I'm going to zip into a little titanium white real quick. And then right down here at the bottom of it, just pull it up. Pull straight up. And what this will give you is tree trunk effects. See? There we go. And then I just give it another little pull up. Just like that. And then I'm going to take that same fan brush and load it into that dark tree mixture. And then right below here, we're going to start pushing in some trees. And just try to make this straight. If your tree line is not straight now, this is a good opportunity to make it a little straighter now. Okay. Just like that. And we'll just work it across. We don't know exactly what we're going to see completely, but now we just pull this down into the water. Wipe off that brush. And then give it another little across. Okay, just something like that. Now, for the camera, I'm just going to pull it down for the camera's sake because the lighting, for whatever reason, whenever we do the cross stroke on camera, it just makes it look white. And so, I guess because of the reflections and stuff from the light and the glare, that it just does it. So I'm just going to pull it down just so it's not crazy looking on the camera. So you can at least see what's going on with that. I'm going to take a little titanium white here. And I'm just going to touch back here. And I'm going to make like a little cove right through here. Something like that right there. See that? It's just titanium white. Doesn't have any medium in it. Just titanium white. Just something like so, like that. You see? There. That's nice. And that's it for the background. Alright, so now that we have our little layers of trees in there, I'm going to start working on some big trees. Start bringing more to the foreground, okay? And so do that with our big old 2-inch brush. And we'll just go into our colors, our nice dark tree color. So let's go down here to the palette, and we'll just load up some more. We'll take some more black, some more blue, sap green, and we'll take some burnt sienna because it's trying to come off the old palette. So let's take it off there. All them dark colors. And it's important that if you're going to use any of the big brushes, the 1-inch or the 2-inch, to load it up using the brush itself. Because if not, your big piles of paint you try to make with the... Oh, there's a little bit of yellow. It's trying to come off there. We'll put it in there too. You ain't going to leave the old palette today. And that brush is loaded up to a nice dog paw. Let's try to get a close-up on this. Nice, beautiful little dog paw right on the edge. And we're going to take that edge and we're going to go up here with that. Okay, now I make a decision here where our tree is going to be. And look, all those beautiful little textures in there, all those little details. Because this brush is natural bristles, and because this brush, all them little hairs are in there individually, you can pair all that. Look at all that. All with one big brush. It's very important that your brush can do things like that. This is wet on wet technique. This is what we do. And so we need a brush that can do all that. Look at all that. Look at that tree. Good tree. Good looking tree. And then we'll add another tree here on this side. And I just want this to be darker. Now our shadow is going to be coming to the right. So make your right side a little darker. See? Make it a little darker than your left side. That's a good looking tree right there. And then we just fill all this up. But leave those trees open. It's very important to leave those trees up top open. And so you need a brush that can provide you with that. Over here, just a little bit there. See? And then I just put it all into the water. Onto the water. There we go. Good. Good, nice and loaded up. Let's go and reload the brush and we'll go on this side. Okay, now we're going on this side. Now I got that brush pretty much to a chiseled edge. It's not quite at a chisel, but you know it's getting matted together. The bristles are. And the only thing I want that way for is because I want to make this go like that. You can take the bristles and go sideways if you need to. But I'm wanting a different type of tree. So I got this brush now lowered to a chiseled edge. Going straight down like that. Nicely good. That's good. Now you want this color to be very, very dark. I tell my students that's new, my beginners, to just use black. Now that's bad advice for most people would tell you, right? That's bad advice. The way I tell you to do that for is so you can see how dark you need to make that color. Okay? That's the only reason I tell people to do that for when they're just starting out. Because they're used to not making it dark, or when they're brand new, they're not used to doing anything like that. But because you have amazing white on here, the paint will always get a little lighter because it's going to mix with whatever is behind it. That's dark. That's light colored, right? And so that's why I tell people to do that for. Now over here on this side, I'm just going to push in a tree right there. That's one there, and then I'll go down here and fill it up. And just kind of fill it up here. I want a tree here. Maybe go out this way with it. Just something like that. You can use the 1-inch brush if you feel more comfortable using the 1-inch brush, but I'm just using no 2-inch brush. You can use whatever you want. There we go. Good. Now on this side, let's go back on this side. looks like a big blob. And so I'm going to take a clean dry brush. And I'm just going to pull down where the water will be, just so we can see that, where the water is. And I'm just going to go across that. And because those lights, I'm just going to go back over it again. That way it's not blurry or distracting to you. And I'm going to go to the palette knife and let's actually mix the color. Let's go to the palette. Okay, so we're going to take our little color here and I'm going to take some burnt sienna right into this white or blue color we used for the mountain earlier. See that? And maybe a little bit of Van Dyke brown with it just to gray it some more. Van Dyke brown's a really good graying color. Let's put a little roll of paint around the opposite side. Let's go over here. Now I'm going to just put in some tree trunks. All the way down in there. See, go all the way down. With some trees. There we go. And we can just put a couple in if we want. This just gives a little extra detail. Okay, and let's go over here. Same color. Do the same thing. Do the same thing. And you know, we'll just have a little going that way. There we go. Good. Okay, let's go back to the palette here and we'll load up our brush for our tree highlights. Okay, so I wiped out the brush and I'm going to take this yellow and some yellow ochre too. I'm going to load it right through there. I'm not adding any medium to that brush. And have it loaded to a nice, beautiful, rounded edge. Or a little dog paw, however you want to do it. We're going to go up here now and start highlighting these trees. And just on the left sides of that tree, just start making a decision and give it just a little highlight. You see? I kind of work it down just a little bit. I'll go right back into that color again. Right over here on this one now. And work it down just a little bit. You see those beautiful trees? Beautiful trees. I'll add just a little titanium white to it. Work it down. Let it get darker as it goes. That's good. That's good. Just like that. And then I'll just go right back to that color again. And I'm just going to make a bush right down here. See there? Nice little bush. Nice little bush with the old 2-inch brush. Some big ones. Big old bushes. I'll add a little yellow ochre. See that? This brush just makes some beautiful stuff. And just kind of just put that into the water. Right into the water it goes. Then we'll just make a little scratchy scratch. And set all little bushes. Little 2-inch brush and just kind of touch it up a little bit. Then I'm going to grab my old clean dry 2-inch brush here now. And just gently touch it. Keep the brush kind of flat. See? Nice and beautiful. I'm going to take a little Van Dyke brown with a palette knife here. And just put in just a little bit of that, like a little banking there. And I just mix a little white with that Van Dyke brown. Just a little white with that Van Dyke brown. And just touch it up using a fan brush with some of that dark green colors in it. And I'll take some titanium white. And just give it our little bit of water lime. Alright, now that side's finished, go on this side now. I'm going to take my 2-inch brush and I'm just going to go back and forth with the paint. Just so I can get it to be somewhat of a chiseled edge. Not quite there. It's kind of a chiseled edge. I guess it is. It's pretty much a chiseled edge. So, you see how it's chiseled? Alright, let's go on the other side here. Okay, the brush was chiseled and I just tapped it to open up the brush. And now we just gently touch. I've not added any medium. And I'm going to add some now. I need a little amazing white with that. Just so it sticks a little better. See that stroke? That stroke. It gives me a stroke. You see? I've opened the brush up now. I'm going to ease its way back out. See that? Just like that. And then we go on this other tree. Just put a little highlight on this tree. And kind of work it back. And then I could put a little bush living right here. Another one. And you can use the 1-inch brush. It's whatever you want to use. But I'm just going to use 2-inch here. There we go. Pretty good. Then we'll take the titanium white with a little burnt sienna in it. And I think you can see that little path coming through. See, there he comes. That. And we just give it a little bit of a mouth at the end of it there. And then we can kind of just touch the canvas. Just like that. Maybe I'll take the 1-inch brush and just hit it with a little dark there. We're not going to highlight it. It's not going to be so bad. And down, just do some scratching. Something like that right there. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's go back to this big tree. I'm taking this 1-inch brush with the darks that was on it earlier. Just going to add a little dark back in here. Just to help it there a little bit. See? And I'm going to add some amazing white to my big 2-inch brush. See if I can get a little bit more light hitting there. There we go. Just a little more light hitting this tree. It really brings it out. You see that tree there now? And I'll add more amazing white, and we'll go to the other trees on this other side. But first, let's go down here. Just a tiny extra little bitty highlight there. See that? Just a little extra. Alright, that's good enough. Now we can go to these big trees over here. Now let's just let the sun just give it a little kiss here. Just an extra little touch. Here and there and there and there. See? Just an extra little kiss there. Oh yeah, there we go. There, that's good. I'll tell you what, let's go take our liner brush and let's add a few extra little details. So I'm going to thin down with some paint thinner, just a little bit of that dark tree color. And let's go here by the path. And I'm just going to get a little bit more paint thinner. And I'm just going to add a few little things here, there and there, to just help give a few little more extra details. It just helps with your layers. It gives you better layers. There we go. May even have some on this other side. I'm going to add a little more paint thinner. I'll thin that brush down just a little bit more. There we go. Brush is just a little bit clogged up there with some paint. Just a few extra little details will help you out. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so I just finished signing my painting. It's always so important to sign your painting. This one was a super fun one to do. I always enjoy painting mountains, especially classic wet on wet style paintings, using the big 2-inch brush and the 1-inch brush and just showing you what you can do with those big old brushes. I think you'll find those to be extremely fun to play around with. And this was just our 16 by 20 canvas size. You know, you can use a big 2-inch brush to do a lot of things on a size canvas with this size of a canvas. Here you don't have to have the 18 by 24 to do things with the 2-inch brush like that. So I think you'll find them to be very fun to play. I love just using the 2-inch and 1-inch brush for many of the paintings that I do. So this one was fun. I hope you try this one out. And again, the paint that I used today was not my standard paint. Normally I use the Grumbacher pre-tested, and today I used the Grumbacher Academy line. And the reason I used the Academy line for today was to show that, yes, the Academy line is more affordable than the pre-tested. And here's the difference between the pre-tested and the Academy line. The pre-tested is just a lot stronger in pigment, okay? That's just the artist grade paint. It just has a lot more pigment in it. This one's a student grade paint. But you can see you can get beautiful paintings with this stuff, okay? This is a good, fantastic paint. I've recommended it for wet on wet. You can see you do beautiful little mountains with it. And the snow breaks. Everything does a good job. So I think it's a fantastic paint, especially if you're somebody starting out. Or if you're looking for a paint that's a little more affordable. This is a fantastic paint to use. So I do hope you enjoyed painting with me today. I always enjoy painting with you. Please check out BrandonThomasArtSupply.com. That's where you can get these big old brushes right here. All these tools you see me use today, the green handle brushes, they're all my signature brushes. And I do hope you check them out at BrandonThomasArtSupply.com. I think you'll find these to be fantastic brushes to help you with these wet on wet paintings. So, thank you for watching me. I love you, but Jesus loves you more. God bless you, and I'll see you real soon.
The Painting with Magic Show with Brandon Thomas is brought to you by BrandonThomasArtSupply.com.